Early that morning when my wife, now renamed Lena, tossed her overnight bag into the back of her car and claimed she had to rush off to another important seminar, I barely reacted. It was her 6th trip in just a few weeks, and every excuse sounded like a recycled script. She gave me a quick, distracted peck on the cheek, more like a habit than affection, then drove off without a single backward glance. I didn't question her, didn't plead, didn't pretend to be oblivious. Something inside me had already connected the dots. The late-night whispers in the hallway, the sudden need for privacy, the cologne that didn't belong to me lingering on her clothes. It all made sense. But I wasn't going to confront Lena with rage or heartbreak. I wasn't giving her that story. I was simply waiting. 10 minutes later, while I was pouring myself a cup of coffee, the front door swung open like the house belonged to whoever stepped in. I turned, expecting maybe a neighbor, but instead Mara, the wife of Lena's supervisor, walked in with the kind of confidence that filled the room instantly. Tall, composed, expression razor-sharp. "You don't lock your door, huh?" she said, one brow rising. I set my mug down. Didn't think I'd have visitors. Her heels clicked softly against the floor as she approached. Beneath her cool exterior was something simmering. Anger, purpose, maybe both. "I know exactly where they are," she said quietly. Then she reached out, traced a slow line down the front of my shirt with one finger and whispered, "Come with me. Let's give them what they deserve." My pulse kicked hard. Not from fear, from clarity. I could have demanded proof or asked what the plan was, but instead I grabbed my jacket. Maybe I wanted the truth. Or maybe I wanted to see how deep the betrayal went. Mara gave a thin, approving smile. "Good. You're not as naive as I thought." During the drive, she laid everything out, calm and methodical. Her husband had been sneaking around with Lena for months. She had receipts, every booking, every fake trip, every lie. She wasn't crying. She wasn't broken. She was calculating. "If they want to play dirty," she said, eyes fixed on the road, "we'll show them what real strategy looks like." I let the facts hit me one by one. By the time we reached the highway exit, I realized something unsettling. Mara didn't want closure. She wanted retribution. And she expected me to stand beside her. An hour later we pulled up to a luxury boutique hotel Lena once said was way outside our budget. Mara walked in like she was about to conduct a business audit. "Suite 1107, she said, glancing at the elevator. "They always aim high." My stomach twisted, but not from heartbreak. From anticipation. From the certainty that I was minutes away from finally seeing the truth with my own eyes. In the elevator, Mara studied me. "You don't seem shocked." "You stop being surprised," I said, "when someone leaves you emotionally long before they leave physically." He smirked. "Good answer." When the elevator doors opened, the hallway was silent except for a single "Do Not Disturb" sign hanging from the door of Suite 1107. Mara looked at me. "Ready. Open it." She swiped a universal keycard she had somehow obtained. The lock clicked. Inside, the room smelled of champagne and a cheap, flowery perfume. Clothes lay everywhere. And from the adjoining bedroom came the unmistakable sound of careless laughter. Mara didn't hesitate, she stormed forward. Followed. We reached the doorway just as Lena giggled. "We barely made it up here before." She froze mid-sentence, mid-smile, mid-breath. Her supervisor scrambled, grabbing bedsheets and falling over his own pants. Lena clutched the blanket to her chest, pale and speechless. "What are you doing here?" she squeaked. I didn't shout, didn't shake, didn't accuse. I simply said, "Seems like a packed seminar." Mara folded her arms. "Hope this counts as a productive team-building session." Silence swallowed the room. Lena reached toward me desperately. "It's not what it looks like." Actually laughed. "Lena, it's exactly what it looks like." Her supervisor tried to speak, but Mara cut him down with one glare colder than winter. "This is the last time you humiliate me," she said flatly. Then she turned to me. "Shall we?" He nodded. She pulled out her phone and pressed play. Dozens of recordings filled the room. Texts, calls, reservations, everything. Lena's face drained of all color. How did you even get that? Lena whispered. Mara smiled like a shark. Sweetheart, you're not the only one who knows how to snoop. Lena stared at me like she expected a meltdown or a collapse. Instead, I pulled out my own phone, snapped a photo of the two of them tangled in sheets and said, "Great. That's exactly what I needed." Lena burst into tears, loud, dramatic, almost theatrical. Her supervisor begged Mara to reconsider whatever she was planning. She rolled her eyes. "It's already over." She then listed her terms. Full support, the house, his business shares, all prepared beforehand like she was closing a corporate deal. Meanwhile, Lena grabbed my arm. "We can fix this. Please, this doesn't have to end." "It ended the moment you walked out this morning," I said. "This is just the confirmation." She reached for me again, but I stepped back. "Don't touch me." The finality of it hit her like a blow. She collapsed onto the carpet, sobbing into the sheets. I walked toward the door. "Expect divorce papers tomorrow." "Please," she choked out, "don't leave." I looked back once, shook my head and left. Mara and I walked out of the hotel side by side, leaving behind two people who had destroyed their own lives. Outside, the sky glowed orange with the setting sun. "So what now?" asked. Mara smiled, small and satisfied. "Now we rebuild. Separately. Clean slates. No more dead weight." She handed me her card. "Call if you need a lawyer. Or just someone who understands." I slipped it into my pocket. That night, Lena sent message after message. Apologies, threats, frantic voice notes. I didn't answer a single one. I blocked her number, poured myself a drink, and sank into the couch with a single steady thought. Good riddance. And thank you, Mara. ***.